When I was growing up, my dad wasn't around at all, and my mum and the rest of my family told me that he worked abroad. And growing up, I just never questioned that. He would appear for maybe a month or so at a time and then disappear, and when he went away again, I was just told that he was back working. But when I was 12 years old and just about to start high school, my mum told me that my dad had actually been in prison for all that time. At which point that's quite a lot to deal with, I think, at that particular age. It's an age when you're just about to go into high school and you're starting to kind of form a sense of identity about yourself in a way, I guess. And so it kind of puts you in this really adult situation where you're forced to grow up very, very quickly. It kind of made me aware of everything that my mother must have gone through in that time before she told me, and what she'd been hiding from me for all this time. And I kind of felt that she'd gone through enough, and I didn't really want to cause her any more pain, so I didn't really want to talk to her about my dad, to save her any sort of pain, I guess. I couldn't speak to my dad because he was in prison, obviously, and when I could speak to him, it was kind of staggered through letters and phone calls and things that I had to be there at specific times for. And I couldn't really tell anyone at school because there's so much stigma attached to the issue of parental imprisonment, so I kind of felt like I didn't really have anywhere to go to, and I became quite introverted. I felt very alone, basically, and it took me a long time to kind of get over that and to learn to deal with my issues where I felt like I could actually trust people. And then as I got older, I kind of did learn to deal with that after many, many years. And I got to a point where I wasn't uncomfortable with myself or my dad or with anything to do with my past anymore. But at which point I noticed how uncomfortable other people were with it. It didn't upset me anymore, but when I would tell people my dad was in prison, I would see them flinch, and I could tell how awkward they felt, and that started to annoy me rather than upset me. It kind of angered me in a way, just because I didn't understand why they were so shocked, and I realised that people just weren't educated on this at all. And then that's when I joined the art collective Kin. It's an art collective based in Glasgow, which is an art collective made by young people who all share the same experience as me, having a parent or family member in prison. They're all very different experiences, but who basically make work around the issue of having a parent or family member in prison. And we take that work into prisons, we take it round to teachers, and we try to basically make them understand how that feels, and to kind of, I guess, make them think about the different types of support that they can offer to those young people. And that's where I'm at just now, working with Kin in terms of making things better, I guess, for younger people by using their experiences. Not even just to have Kin, but just to have anyone who was talking about this. No one talks about it. No one talks about it in school. There's no sort of workshop or anything just to say that this is the thing that happens to people. So when I was that age, I felt that I was the only person going through that, and that no one else could possibly go through it because it's just completely unheard of. But it's not that no one else going through it, it's that no one feels safe enough to talk about it. And I think that needs to change. There needs to be this sort of safe space put in place for people to feel that they have a community and they have people to talk to about it. Because if you don't talk about these things, this can lead to mental health issues and a different array of things. So I think that's the thing that really needs to be there. I think that there's a lot of policy around children of prisoners who are very young and of a certain age, but I think when you get to that age, when you're entering high school and you're a teenager, they kind of forget about you, and there's not really anything in place, and you're kind of put in this position where you're not really a child anymore, but you're not yet an adult. And I think that really needs to be considered when they're making these policies, is to think about these children, because it happens at a range of different ages and they're still children too. I think it's really important to consider people at that age and consider the support that's available for them.